Welcome to the Presque City Council meeting for November 5th, 2025. We have 6 out of 7 councilors present this evening. I'd like to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Starting things out tonight is something that is relatively new that we are doing. We are going to have a presentation of what we call the Golden Cane Award to Melvin Hovey. You can join me right here. Is there any way we can shut this heater thing off though?
Just hit that button right there.
It's blowing right on us, man. We're gonna warm right up tonight, Mel. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
Man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. All right. So tonight we have the privilege of honoring someone whose life and work have quietly but profoundly shaped Presque. The Golden Cane Award is given each year, starting now, to a citizen who has contributed extensively to our community and helped guide our future. This year's recipient, Mel Hovey, has done both with steady love for his community and the people in it. Mel's service has never been about recognition. It has been about progress and growth for people and place, and for the belief that one person's effort can ripple through an entire city. Kind of nervous. Whether lending his voice as a counselor to civic discussions, mentoring young leaders, or helping move projects from idea to reality, Mel has embodied what it means to invest in the long view. He has witnessed Presque's past, helped guide its present, and laid a thoughtful foundation for its future. His work reminds us that progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's measured in the trust you build, the example you set, and the hands you extend along the way. On behalf of the City of Presque, it is my honor to present the 2025 Golden Cane Award to Mel Hovey in recognition of his extensive contributions to our community and his lasting legacy of service, integrity, and vision. It's impossible to capture all that Mel has contributed in his life well lived, but here are a few of Mel's accomplishments. He was chairman of the board for the Maine and Maritimes Corporation and Maine Public Service Company, and a director since 1981. He served on communities for pension and benefits and strategic planning. Mel also served as president and CEO of Maine Public Service Company from 1983 to 1994 when he retired. During this time, he was also director of Maine Yankee Atomic Power Company. He has over 4 decades of utility experience and is a registered professional engineer in the state of Maine. He has served as chairman of the Maine State Chamber of Commerce and 2 4-year terms on the Grievance Commission of the Maine State Overseers of the Bar. Mr. Hovey serves as chairman of the board of visitors at the University of Maine at Presque. And Mel was also a Presque City Councilor from 2008 to 2012, a Kiwanian, a loving father, a faithful friend to many, and a cherished husband. Mel, thank you for showing us what commitment to community truly looks like. We'd like to present you with this, and it's truly a pleasure to have made a friendship with you over the past few years. All of your advice is well received. Your knowledge is immense. Any advice to anybody out there? I would say if a wise man speaks, listen. And I've listened.
All right.
So it's all yours now.
Sonia said that I promised her I wouldn't speak over an hour.
We got all night.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say, but when I did my coffee group, who some of them are here today, and they enticed me to serve on the council here, and made it happen, frankly. And I can't. It was to me, it was a real eye-opener and a great experience. The City of Presque Isle organization is not a small organization at all. You know, you got 130 employees and a fairly good-sized budget, and it takes some thoughtful work by councilors and direction, and I felt it was an honor to serve here, and I really learned a lot while I was counselor here. The thing that Presque Isle is to raise a family and live in the Presque Isle Aroostook area. There's no place after you leave here, there's just no place like it. It's a great place to raise a family. And I see a lot of good things happening here as well. You know, you've got in Presque Isle, you've got one of the best libraries in the state. You've got a nice new recreation center now. Got 2 colleges. And under Tom there, the industrial park, I see that growing, and he's doing a great job there. And even Loring seems to be coming to life. So I see a lot of great things happening in Presque Isle. One of the things that begins to worry me a little is some of the partisan things that are happening on a national level, where you can't have a difference of an opinion on anything without getting in trouble. And I see our fire chief here and ambulance. I had a different opinion with him, but I think we're still on speaking terms, and I hope we're good friends. So, you know, and I thought arguing one side or another was a positive thing, not a negative thing. You get, maybe the other side has got a point or two, you know. So anyway, those are the things that I see that worry me for the future. And the other thing is, you know, I never thought I'd be standing here at 95 years old. I thought I'd be under the ground somewhere. But my coffee group, my friends there, and my special friends, Dr. Pelly and Lynn Pelly, have checked on me and made sure that I'm okay. So I fault them for me being around. You know? So, anyway, I think you've got the right manager now, and I think you got the right chairman of your council, and I see great things happening in Presque Isle, and I just think Presque Isle is the place to be. So thank you very much for this award. And Sonia says I can leave now, so
and take your throng with you.
Oh, that's great. Do you want to get a picture with him?
Do you want to do that?
I think we should.
Yeah. Mel, before you go,
glad you caught that.
Grandma, we had to read all the other ones.
Right in the middle. He'll guide you.
All right, thanks. You're a good counselor, personally. I know that.
Hopefully as good as you one day. Twice in a week. Yeah. All set? Here we go. Thank you.
What an honor. Thank you for coming back. I know I had to twist your arm. Brett, it's okay.
Thanks again, man. You're an inspiration. You truly are.
A lot of these people were ordering. I have no idea who they are. Most of the guys named 5 orders.
Okay.
Well, that's nice. Well, that was nice. It's very nice.
Hanging up in the
No, haven't heard.
in your hat.
Haven't heard.
See if there's any public comment.
We're going to take just a minute here to get everybody settled back in, and we'll get back on agenda here. Thank you, Rick. Okay, moving along, folks. We have on our agenda, item number 1 is to hold a public hearing for the 2026 municipal budget. This is our second hearing. This hearing provides an additional opportunity for council and the public to review, answer phones, and comment and discuss the proposed expenditures and revenues before final adoption. Staff will be available to address any outstanding questions or clarification raised during the discussion. Who wants to start the budget discussion?
Mr. Chair, simply open up that public hearing, and we'll see if somebody wants to.
Public hearing is open. And, well, so public hearing's closed then. all of our budget information is available online on the city's website, as well as all of our budget meetings are all on YouTube. If anybody's bored and chooses to view those, review them, whatever, it's all available. Moving on to item number 2 on our agenda is to approve a marijuana license to Frank Bernini. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Presque LLC, doing business as Marijuanaville, located at 611 Main Street. Sonia, you want to introduce this one?
Certainly,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. So our public safety has no issues with this. They have provided all the information that they need to provide by law, and staff recommends approval.
Okay. One thing I was curious about was our marijuana ordinance, our Chapter 59A for adult use and medical marijuana business ordinance. Looks as though it was last amended June 1st, 2022, and it's a 4-year ordinance. Is that 4 years from the last amendment or from its original inception? Do you know?
I would say the original inception.
Every 4 years it comes up.
Okay, so, well, I just,
The original one is.
because it was originally approved on January 23rd of 2020, and if it's a 4-year ordinance, I'm
And
just
then it got
wondering.
amended again, so.
So I was wondering if the 4 years goes from its initial inception or from its last amendment. It was last amended June 1st of 2022. So would that mean it's good through June 1st of 2026? Is how I understand that.
Yes, I believe that's,
Okay.
you're
I
right.
just want to make sure before we go further that
Yes.
we actually have an ordinance in place.
Yeah, because
prior
I
to
haven't, I can't
approving
tell you,
these.
because a bunch of them comes on the agenda.
No, I
in
understand.
January
Okay.
for
Yeah.
for that 4-year mark,
Right.
and I haven't got to that agenda
Good.
yet to tell you what those are.
So, yeah, I'd like to get that clarified, for one. For two, if there's any changes or anything that anybody has in mind for this, Chapter 59A, the adult use and medical marijuana business ordinance, this is probably something we should get queued up relatively soon, so come June of 26, we're not blindsided by it, and it doesn't sunset, that's all.
I'll make sure it gets on the agenda, Mr. Chair.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything to discuss or any comments to make about this application for a marijuana license?
I think you gotta open the public hearing first.
Open to public comment on this agenda item. Seeing no comment.
Is there anyone?
Well, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve a marijuana license to Frank Bereni, MV Presque LLC, doing business as Marijuanaville, located at 611 Main Street.
We have a motion made by Harold. Any, seconded by Hank. Is there any further discussion on this?
Only discussion I guess I would have, I guess I'm not really crazy about another business of this sort in the community, especially at that location where it's kind of a crossroads of downtown. So, I don't know, I guess I'm not really in favor of it being right there, to be honest with you, but
That's kind of in part the reason why I brought up
yeah.
the sunset provision on the ordinance. That would give us an opportunity to make any recommended changes to the ordinance
Right.
at that point in time. But for now, everything seems to be legit and in line with his application and his processing and such. So
Yeah, and I've had citizens come to me just I guess, questioning the wisdom of the setbacks and directing them all onto Main Street, and just how that's kind of changed the face of our downtown a little bit, and also taken up a lot of the available retail and different spaces. So I think it might make sense maybe before June if we revisit the ordinance and just see if it still makes sense or not.
Any further discussion? Motion made by Harold and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? What are we, all of those opposed? Okay, we are 5 and 1. One absent.
Thanks, Greg.
Moving on to agenda item number 3, is a public hearing to approve changes to Chapter 62, the Consumer Fireworks Ordinance. What prompted this to revisit Chapter 62 of the Fireworks Ordinance? There's been a number of complaints that have been brought to myself, and I don't know about the rest of the counselors, in regard to noise complaints and fire danger and other nuisances. I see there's some changes that have been made.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Simon.
If it's helpful, Tim is here to discuss the changes that he has recommended in the ordinance, and to also give you an updated ordinance that has a lesser restrictive fireworks
would be great.
ordinance.
Thank you, Tim. Come on up.
Evening, Council. Before you is the updated ordinance, so without complete clarity on exactly what the complaints were, I did draft an ordinance that falls in line with quite a few southern Maine towns and does greatly restrict the use of consumer-grade fireworks, as explained in the ordinance, to just a few days a year, including some weekends that revolve around holidays. It did receive some comments that after your packet was put together that maybe it was a little too restrictive. So this second draft increases permitting throughout all, and it explicitly limits some times, which is actually the state limited times anyway. So before you are a couple of options that you have, and it can always be amended somewhere in between those also.
So I guess the question I've got is what are people actually complaining about? I mean, it seems like we had a big brouhaha at the beginning, and then we came up with some things and we kind of limited it, but
Well,
what seems to
outside
be
of
the
the
issue?
urban compact zone,
Yep.
I don't believe that residents are required to purchase a fireworks permit from the fire department, and they're also not required to call in to notify the fire department like citizens are required to within the urban compact zone. I think that it's a fair request that those living outside the urban compact zone also have to buy a permit from the fire department and also notify the fire department of before they do their fireworks shows.
Is that the reason for removing the urban compact zone and striking it from this?
I would imagine.
Yes,
I just quickly zipped through this, and this is different than what's in our packet.
Yes. In the updated version, it simply strikes where it says urban compact zone, and that in turn will require a permit from anywhere within the city.
Okay.
So this second one, the only difference from what it is now, it doesn't limit the type of fireworks any
Nope.
differently than there has been.
Nope. So the only major change to this second version is going to require a permit everywhere. Technically, those were state laws. I just put those in there that we have some, that way our ordinance can't be construed to say that we don't have a time frame on it.
Yep.
Like it was the only thing to kind of back that up. But that actually is that's the state language.
The times.
the times.
So from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. except for
The
specific
holidays.
holidays.
Yep. And the weekends before and after those holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Tim,
Yes, sir.
my understanding of the complaint, broadly speaking, is that an individual was setting off fireworks up until 10 p.m. So if we go by this revised version, that really doesn't do anything to alleviate the actual problem that was presented.
If that was the actual complaint, then this would not address that.
But if they're launching one off at 1 a.m. or whatever, and they get someone, a neighbor calls the police department to file a complaint on that, whoever's launching fireworks off outside of these hours should be subject to some sort of penalty. Or,
Right. But I would think if my neighbor was setting off fireworks every night at 9:30 all the way up until 10 o'clock, I would get a little frustrated.
Yeah. Right. Well, if it's your neighbor right next to you and you know where they're coming from, yes. If they're 4 or 5 houses up the road, how are you gonna know who to charge?
I don't know. I felt that this fireworks ordinance needed some updates and some revisions, and based on the complaints and whatnot, this second version I like a lot better than what is in our packet. What you had in our packet the first time around is just to me seems way too restrictive.
Well, do we have a way to get a list of the complaints so we can see what's actually going on? I mean, I guess, if this is like 3 people that complained in a whole year, I'm kind of like, that's one thing. If it's, 300 people complain in a year, then I'd like to know that, I guess that's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
So I haven't received any actual complaints. So I unfortunately can't give you a list of that, but
Right.
And you will open this up. It should get opened up for public hearing. I suspect we may have a few
Yep.
that will
Oh,
have
yeah.
comments
Yeah.
on that. So.
Okay, but we're just trying to figure out what's prompting it first,
Yeah.
so we just gotta get a good, okay.
So, and again, you can make any changes to this. So if you want to strike something in between what I've given you, or lesser or more, we can definitely do so.
Well, I don't see any reason to change what you
The,
got here.
the permit, is that like a one time and it covers you the whole year, or is it each time you're launching?
So the way it's currently written is, ours is written for a single permit, and then you pay a fee and you get it. In conversation with the fire chief, there isn't very many people that actually pull a permit. One way to help that might actually be to remove the pricing for that. Just have them order a permit online and be done with it.
Is there any way that you could make it a combination campfire type fireworks permit?
You could. I don't know quite how that would work right off the top of my head, but I'm sure you could do it.
Right, but whether you're charging for it or not, is it, you get it in May and it covers you for the whole year?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
a fire permit.
So you don't-
like-
Yeah, and there's no, to my knowledge, there's no requirement to call in and say that you're doing it or anything like that. So, one reason for the original writing is we had no standards for approval or denial on the permit. Essentially, unless it's a fire danger, it reaches that point, we had no reason to deny somebody a permit, and we would have no reason to revoke one later on if there was an issue. And that's part of the reason that I added the hours into both of them, but.
So, the point of the permit is to have on file anyone that's allowed to launch throughout the year,
Correct.
but you don't know what day that's happening.
Nope.
Yes, we do, because they're required to call us to inform us that we're gonna have fireworks that day.
Okay,
Okay, I misunderstood that then.
They're allowed to shoot whenever they want.
that's. It covers my concern.
Do we have anybody from the public that wants to address us on this or has any comments?
I guess I would like to quickly review what it says right now, what the ordinance says, because at one point, whatever it was, it seemed to be not so restrictive, but made sense. And yet I started hearing people use their fireworks all summer, any time of the day or night. I live in Midtown, right in the middle of town, and it's very annoying. I think especially if people have pets, it gets the pets, they're afraid, and a lot of them are home alone. And people that work at the hospitals, work night shifts. A lot of people have to go to bed really early. So I'd like to know what the new proposal actually is. What hours,
Well,
within what?
If what's in here, Lois, if we were to look at this, it says that in general, on a regular day, except of extended holiday times, that from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., and this is state language that he was just saying or input into this, between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. you can use a firework, or on holidays, 9 a.m. to 12:30 a.m., things like July 4th and just New Year's Eve are the 2 weekends that are listed for that.
So those are the only 2 holidays? That doesn't mean any holiday?
Those are the only 2 that are written in here. Following specific dates, weekends, and times, fireworks may be used during the hours of 9 a.m. and 12:30 the following day. So July 4th into the morning of July 5th, so 12:30 a.m. And it looks like December 31st into 12:30 a.m. of New Year's Eve. Those are the only 2 days that goes that late. The other days, everything other day is 10 p.m.
And is it within a certain area in town? I thought somebody said, like, out on past, if you go up the Holton Road X amount of miles, that you couldn't do fireworks right in town. It was less than.
I think,
further
Tim, if
out.
I'm not mistaken, it's always been available to shoot them off in town, right? By permit?
Yes.
The original ordinance ordered, you just had to have a permit to shoot them up inside the urban compact zone.
Right.
And just to clarify, the extended hours do apply to the weekend before and after the holidays. On the time frame, just to clarify that.
And I'm not trying to limit anybody's business. That's not what it's all about.
No, but
I just-
it's a good question. So no,
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I heard it was revised a year or 2 ago. Time goes so fast. It could have been 5 years ago. But that made a lot of sense to me. And now that you're talking about there are some revisions, I'm not sure exactly what the revisions are.
Well, so what did we have before for hours? Are the hours? Have the hours changed, Tim?
No, I think Craig, I think the hours, like July 4th, December 31st, the Saturday and Sunday immediately before and after those said holidays, as well as New Year's Eve, I think those were right from the original inception
Right.
of the state passing the law to allow consumer fireworks
Yep.
to be used.
Right.
And during those times, it was my understanding that you did not need a permit or to call in to
On those days.
use fireworks during those specific times. Any other time required being in town or within the urban compact zone required a permit from the fire department and also call in to notify the fire department that you were planning to launch fireworks. Outside of the urban compact zone, it was free game.
So
That's the original ordinance. Anything that's struck is what was there. Anything that's
well,
new red is new.
So we're just expanding this to cover all zones. You gotta
Yeah,
call and get a
we're
permit.
essentially, so citywide, even outside the urban compact zone, those folks would
If it's
have to,
within the city of Presque, period.
would have to adhere to the same requirements as those currently using fireworks within the urban compact zone.
And so if they have to call in, then Chief, on these says consumer fireworks are permitted during class 4 and 5 fire danger times. Then if they call in, you deny the use on days where there's a heightened fire danger. Is that right? Okay.
Even if it's on a 4 or 5, we may deny it if it's a real windy day.
Okay.
We're pushing them down.
Okay.
And I think what I'm really thinking about is the abuse that happens at Mantle Lake. You know, that's not really patrolled, I think, a whole lot. And sometimes you'll hear it kind of like all night long near the lake. I don't know if they have cameras there or anything now or not, but it used to be, it was some abuse there late. Anyway, I'm not trying to infringe
No,
anyone's
it's good
business.
questions, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Patrick McCross, and I sent the letter to you folks. I live underneath that every night this summer. Every night, with exceptions of 2. I think my wife had 6 nights written down that he didn't put fireworks out at 9:45. Between 9:45 and 10 o'clock, 3 fireworks, 6 fireworks, maybe 10. Just enough to get you up out of bed and my dog to pee on the floor. Calling in, that's great. He's just going to call in. That's not going to help a bit with this. There's got to be some recourse. We've called the fire department. We own 150 acres around him. Fire danger this summer. My 85-year-old mother lives there. Guys, I need some help. And calling in is not going to change this.
Right.
What I got going on out there. I had all the neighbors sign that because we've had enough. And we're looking at you folks to change it. Please. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay.
Okay, so
Well, so I guess what are we looking for? A motion to maybe table this, pass this, modify this?
well, I've got a question. So, that is an issue, and I can see where it'd be an issue.
Sure.
Well,
But,
I called the cops. They said there's not breaking the law.
right,
Called the fire department.
they're not breaking the law. No,
Look, it's my retirement out there. It's our retirement growing around this house. The fire danger's been crazy all summer. Nobody else was letting people do fireworks but this city. And there's no need of that.
Yeah, no, and I understand what you're saying, and I'm just trying to think of how
So-
you even address.
So, like, I
that.
feel like it's hard to regulate the whole city based on, like, one bad actor or, like, one bad person. But, I mean, is there a way that we could add in a nuisance clause or a complaint clause or, like, we don't restrict the whole community, but if there's somebody that's creating a nuisance, that we leave an opportunity within the ordinance to deal with it. Like, is there something there?
If you have an ordinance, you restrict the community because of what the ordinance says.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you restrict the entire community, and if there's only one person causing a problem,
But there's more than one person causing a problem.
So yes, we could enact something with a nuisance. I didn't see in my research, I didn't see anybody that had one specifically. So we'd have to develop some language for it, but it shouldn't be overly complicated to do.
I mean, I could see, you have to get a permit, you have to call in to use a permit. Then if there's a nuisance issue, the permit gets pulled from the person. I think, right? I mean, could something like that work, Chief?
And if you don't mind, you're exactly right. We'll use the burn permit, for example. We issue
Can you come up so the public can hear?
So with the burn permits, we issue them for a year, so people come in and get them, and we issue like 800 of those a year. In order for that to be called active, they have to call us. We pull that permit, so we know that somebody on, I'll say Church Street, is burning that day. We know that. We have that permit. If they don't call us, it's the same thing as burning without a permit, which the forestry backs us on that. And if we have issues, we call the forestry in, forestry summons them for burning without a permit. Okay, so they have to call. The fireworks exactly the same way. So if they call in, and I do agree, this has been an awful dry summer, I would be very nervous about fireworks going off too. And so we need to be able to say, as a department, we don't feel it's safe, we're not gonna allow it. So that needs to be in the ordinance. The other thing is that if they don't call, same thing. If you do not call, you will be fined whatever that, we have a penalty already in our ordinance of $100 or up to $500. That's a civil. The PD can take that to court.
What if they do call though, and they wake up the whole neighborhood, and the neighborhood calls on
On the
them?
burn side of it, if it's creating a smoke nuisance, then yeah, we make them put it out. With the other side of that on fireworks, you know, a noise complaint or a fire danger, yeah, we could probably justify that. But I don't know how we would justify a noise complaint because it's within the time frame. It would have to be something that, for us, that creates a hazard, either a fire hazard or a safety hazard. So I don't know how you would write that in there.
So, in this where it says use of sewer fireworks prohibited during class 4, class 5 fire danger, so it doesn't expressly say that you have other discretion. So I think at least we should add in or at the discretion of the fire department as part of that part of it.
Yep.
I think that needs to be updated. And then I guess I just kind of thinking off the top of my head, and I haven't thought this through, so don't take this as a motion, but what if you had a limit of how many times a year you could shoot a firework off on your permit? You got 10 uses, 5 uses, whatever, something like that. Once you've used it up, you've used it up.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I mean, I don't know how many people need to shoot fireworks off more than
That's not
5
a
or
ba-
10 times a year.
That's not a bad idea.
You know, I mean, really, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think even people that go out and spend money at the fireworks store, I don't think that they're generally shooting fireworks off at their house multiple times a year normally. You know, I guess that I don't know. I just throw that out there for discussion. I don't know if that works or not work, but
Another thing I thought was just like on certain days, like weekend days, to give the neighbors a reprieve that either Friday night, Saturday night, okay, you can let them off, but other than that, nothing at all during the week.
Right, in your ordinance, you have the authority to do that. You can say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no fireworks on any other day. I mean, you can expand your ordinance to however you wanna do it. I just think whatever we do, there needs to be like, Mr. Green said, there ought to be something there where the fire department can say, no, we're calling this a hazard and you're not doing
Oh,
it today.
definitely.
And we don't have that option right now.
Mr. Root?
The other thing that you could do too is put a noise clause in there. And if they haven't activated their permit and they fire off the fireworks and they get a complaint, then you have legal status to go out and fine them. And that is an issue. And so put in a noise complaint in there. And if you got somebody who's excessively firing off fireworks anywhere within the city, and they've got that in the ordinance, and if they don't have a permit, the fine should be doubled.
Tim, you taking notes on any of this?
I am, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move that we table this to give our economic development deputy a chance to come up with some alternatives for restriction based on nuisance and day of the week.
Very well. Motion made by Mike. Seconded by Doug. Any further comments? All those in favor? 6-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. Moving along, let me find where we are.
Citizen comments.
I'm sorry.
Citizen comments.
I've got the consent agenda. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I was off the wrong one. All right, this is our citizen comments portion of our council meeting. This is, provides a time for any of our citizens to address the council with any concerns or anything whatsoever that they may wish to share with us. Now's your time. You can come to the podium and address the council over anything you want. It's your time. Nobody?
don't all rush out.
Kim, did anybody submit anything via email?
Yes, we have one letter
Yeah,
that I handed out.
and you've submitted that for the Yeah, you have it in the record, okay.
The
Yep. We do have one right here. Gentleman.
You wanna let him go first?
I'm sorry, I didn't see. Oh, yes, please, come on up. I didn't see it.
That's fine. All right. So I'd like to address the new business, section number 9 on the agenda, regarding the general, development zoning.
Can you state the name, please?
Yep, so my name is Brandon Dowdy. I am the owner of North Lighting Concepts here in Presque Isle. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'll speak.
Excuse me, Mr.
Right
Chair.
in there?
So this is, hold on just a second, Brandon. This is citizen comment. We do have the issue that Brandon is speaking about on the agenda later on.
Okay.
So that you would not
Save that
respond.
discussion.
Yep. So, Brandon, you state your issue
Mhm.
and then stay with us, and
Sure.
you will see that issue later on the agenda.
Okay.
And they will not respond to a citizen comment specifically. Okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, many of you already know me, some of you don't. I hope you choose to get to know us. So a little bit about us: we specialize in automotive detailing, ceramic coatings, tinting, off-road performance parts, and quite a bit more actually. We've been serving our community at 87 State Street for the last 3 years, employing on average 2 employees at any given time. I'm here tonight to respectfully request a change regarding the zoning ordinance that would allow our business location, currently zoned for general business development, to include an automotive repair facility and used car dealership. Under the current zoning, those uses aren't currently permitted, but this change would allow us to grow responsibly while continuing to invest right here in Presque Isle. So our goal isn't to become a large dealership. We wouldn't really be selling new cars, but rather expand our services to include a state licensed vehicle inspections, light mechanical repair, and small scale used vehicle operation that complements what we already do. The addition would foster growth within my business, provide more hours for my technicians, and keep automotive spending local with a reliable and trustworthy business. We take pride in maintaining a professional, clean, and environmentally responsible operation, and we want to continue being an asset to this community both visually and economically. With our strong ties to the community and overwhelmingly positive response, we feel that this move would benefit everyone involved. Presque Isle has a proud history of supporting local business growth, and I believe this small zoning adjustment aligns perfectly with that vision, and I thank you for your time in considering this request.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Brandon.
Brandon. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, please, come on up.
I should have asked this a while ago when you were talking about Merrill, the new store. Or, how many stores do we have currently? Does anybody know? How many marijuana stores do we have in Presque Isle?
With cultivation's 9, right?
I believe this will be number,
Say.
This would
Okay.
be the
I think
10th
there's
one.
9.
I believe, and I may be incorrect in that. We have some other types of businesses that aren't necessarily stores, but I believe 10 total.
Is there a limit to how many we can have in the city? Just curious.
As of right now, no.
There is no limit. Is there a limit on any type of business you can have? No? Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's part of the issue, I guess, and so that's kind of what is, Jeff was mentioning about discussing it, you know, when this ordinance comes up.
Thank you.
The only thing I just would just say in general, and this is not really responding to that, but just that, you know, it's a hard thing to regulate business in general, because then you're kind of picking winners and losers. And, you know, we don't say you can have 10 pizza parlors, or we don't say you can have 10 car dealers, we don't say you can have, so it's kind of a double-edged sword on regulation, but I do realize this does kind of seems different, but.
I'm thinking more about me.
Well, and that's kind of the economy. I guess they drive that. If no one goes there, they go out of business, right? But if they go there, they stay in business, so, yeah.
Okay. We'll address those concerns later on this evening. I believe we got one more comment that's been submitted to us via email. And Harold, would you like to share that one with us, please?
Sure. To Sonia Eiler, City Manager, Jeffrey Willett, City Council Chair, and City Councilors, these citizen comments for tonight's City Council meeting are about transparency in city government. Having the City Manager talk about transparency all the time does not mean there is actual transparency. A case in point is the agenda for tonight's City Council meeting. Agenda item number 1 is the second hearing on the 2026 budget. The manager's memo states, quote, "This hearing provides an additional opportunity for council and the public to review, comment on, and discuss the proposed expenditures and revenues before final adoption." End quote. Despite all of the hours that you and the city staff have spent preparing the 2026 budget, please note what is missing. The manager's memo does not state if the proposed 2026 budget is up, down, or even as compared to 2025. Is this transparency? Agenda item number 6 is an update on Chapter 16 of the Land Use and Development Code. The manager's memo includes the following statement, quote, "Staff recommend a setback of between 0 and 150 feet as a compromise," end quote. Calling this statement as misinformation is putting it in the best light. In fact, at the planning board meeting on October 23rd, 2025, staff, meaning Tim St. Peter, suggested a setback of 250 feet. Is this transparency? Agenda item number 9 is to discuss general development zoning. The manager's memo offers no comments. Is this transparency? And finally, if I read the agenda correctly, tonight's city council meeting has 8 executive sessions. Is this transparency? Please excuse the triteness, but talking the talk about transparency is different than walking the walk. There is a transparency problem with Presque city government. Please fix it. Thank you, Stephen Freeman.
Thank you, Harold. All right, that wraps up this evening's citizen comments portion of our council meeting. Moving along to our consent agenda, we have item number 4, and that's to approve the 2025 warrants number 36 through 40, totaling $3,882,871.23. And I don't know if you guys want to take the 2 consent agenda items separately, or if you wish to group them together, or whatever the wish of the council is, I'm game with.
Mr. Chair, I would like to take consent agendas number 4 and number 5 and make a move to accept them as they are.
Very well.
Second?
Motion made by Hank and seconded by Craig. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, just only thing I'd just say quickly, thank you so much to the Central Loup-Stick Chamber of Commerce for doing their light parade again. It's one of the highlights of the season. And in full transparency, we are on YouTube. You can read the minutes online, and you can come to the meeting. So I hope you all hear all about everything going on.
Very well. Moving along to old business. Wait.
We have
Good vote.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry about that.
I moved, he seconded.
I got you.
Okay.
All of those in favor? Good, so. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, moving along to old business. Item number 6, an update on Chapter 16 of the Land Use and Development Code. Sonia, you want to brief us on this one, please?
Sure, Mr. Chair. So Tim is with us tonight to discuss your memo that you received of this between the 0 and 150 feet. That was issued long before the planning board met and decided that they would do the 250 feet as opposed to the 1,200. So Tim is here this evening to discuss what the planning board, the outcome of the planning board was, and to recommend some changes to that tonight.
Evening again, council. So yeah, and to comment on the transparency piece, the original 0 to 150 was put out. In my own accord, I did not see that the planning board would approve that, just given where they were before. So I made the recommendation of 250 to the planning board, with the argument that if a site is set back at 250 feet from a roadway, there's still theoretically a plot for a single-family house in the ag farm zone, which that zone requires a minimum of 1 acre lot, which is 208 by 208 feet. It would allow for a house lot plus trees, and then the fence and panels to go in afterward. Kind of gives room for everything in the best case scenario. So that is why I recommended the 250 feet in contrast to the 0 to 150 feet that was proposed by the city manager. Outside of that 250 feet, what you have in front of you, nothing else has changed. I take that back. There was one other thing so we changed it from 1,200 down to 250, and then I did add a second exception that a setback shall not apply to a home placed after the solar generation facility. So if you choose to live in front of a solar field, you're choosing to live there and can do so.
After it's existing.
After it's existing. The 250 feet would kind of protect people that are already in place. And if you choose to live in front of one or beside one afterward, then that is, you know what's there.
It's kind of like moving in next to the fair and then complaining 1 week a year it's loud.
Right.
So to clarify, what you're talking 250 feet is that would give enough room for a house lot after the fact, assuming someone doesn't care about living close by, but it's still some developable land for growth and all that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that addresses, say something like that happens, and then the solar farm wants to expand in a direction that's beyond, doesn't run into additional limits? Can they grow in the further distance away, or is it?
I would say they could grow in a further distance away. Hypothetically, in my head, I see this as a site being 250 feet back. Someone plants a house in front of it, and if they say, well, we're going to grow, another 1,000 feet backwards, that's more than 250 feet from the residence now.
Why not allow it?
Right. Theoretically, like corner sideways off of the lot may run into a potential conflict with that. But again, the setback doesn't apply to a home placed after the solar generation facility. Even so, I will admit that's kind of a gray area on after the fact.
Well, yeah. So you could say there's nothing that is locking that in its current.
No.
Okay.
Right.
Tim, you also might want to talk about the side setbacks too on the existing home.
So your current ordinance is written for 250 feet from a residence to the nearest point of panels, racking, pads, transformers, those pieces that we consider structure, which are listed in the ordinance. Side setbacks would be your typical ag farm zone, which is 30 feet to any sideline. Now, if there's a residence there, the 250 feet would apply. So if you had a corner roadway and they wanted to be back here, they would have to be 250 feet from all of those residences. But if it's like there is a site plan for, I think it's 99 Holton Road, the abutting line is the railroad tracks. They only have to be 30 feet away from that property line.
To clarify, you said in your ordinance the 250 feet. That's the proposed.
Yeah, that's proposed.
Okay, there's nothing like that.
Not
at all.
currently.
Okay.
So the idea is 250 feet from a residence or
A roadway.
the roadway. Is a garage? What's the definition of a garage or detached or?
So I would pull, if I'm measuring the setback, I'm pulling it from the house, not somebody's garage. Conversely, if there's like a Quonset hut or something that is, a farm potato house, I would not pull 250 feet.
Somewhere where you can sleep.
Right. That's the way I would treat it. I mean, that's our intent with this, and it's supposed to be a residence. We have that definition in there. So
can I talk for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just wanted your permission. Okay, so I've always found in this, don't take this the wrong way, but that sometimes it's hard to imagine distances or placement or even, without looking at something in person. So I went on the tax map and I looked at some setbacks of some popular buildings around town just to give you an idea how far something could be set back. In this 250-foot range, the closest thing I could find is the newest FW Webb building on the corner, kind of past Save-A-Lot. That is 250 feet from Central and 275 feet from Parsons. For whatever argument purposes you want to have. Some other ones to consider: the police fire department, that's 125 feet from the road. Walmart is 525 feet from the road. JCPenney's in the mall is 150 feet, while the Harbor Freight portion is 300 feet. The lot that it has been in question on State Street, that kind of may have spurred some of this, from the State Street side is 245 feet from the street. And then the newer one out on Fort Road, just past where State Street converges. That is 525 feet from the Fort Road, 425 feet from State Street. So this 250 could actually put that twice as close, to give you an idea.
Right, but with the Amish house out there, you'd have to look at it the way that the new ordinance would be written up, and would that be 250 feet from the house?
From the Amish house.
So this setback would apply from that residence. It would probably still be pretty close. I don't think that house is 200 feet off the road, but
I'm just trying to give you some visuals of, I don't know what that distance is.
Yeah, he's just trying to put a scale out there, a visual scale of what these distances kind of
So-
look like.
to give you an idea, like right here, from the steps of City Hall to about halfway past the old fire station, about halfway into their building,
It's 250 feet.
roughly. The intersection was like 263 or something like that. So
That is still relatively close when you're talking against a home.
So the ordinance does include buffering with 4 rows of trees, as such. So there is going to be some like visual breakup. The noise should be broken up from the trees. Doesn't necessarily mean it will. I don't think the sites are overly loud, but transformers can be if they're arranged in the right spot. So
Thank you, Jim. Is there anybody that has any questions or concerns or would like to address council on this? Please, come ahead.
Hi, my name's Jade Hopkins. I'm part of the Aroostook Climate Group. I wasn't able to be at the planning board meeting that happened in October, but we discussed it as a group and we had some things that we wanted to say. So first, we are happy about the new proposal for 250 feet from houses. We were concerned about the planning board's attempt to put a moratorium on solar in Presque Isle. It was narrowly defeated, but ultimately it didn't happen, so that's good. We think that it wouldn't reflect the will of the people who believe that solar is necessary for Presque Isle, and there's no evidence-based reason to outright ban it at this point. 250 feet for housing makes sense. It'll have trees. For what it's worth, we live very close to the one on Fort Road that was just being discussed. And it's 500 feet, but it's fine. It's quiet. It doesn't really bother us at all. We did want to voice our opposition to the 250-foot setbacks against the roads. We believe that it contradicts the council's stated desire to keep housing in the center of the city and move solar development to more agricultural areas. The Deputy Innovation Director has stated that the idea behind the setbacks from roads is to allow a developer to lease solar companies 250 feet away from the road and to build houses between the road and solar. This would encourage development of housing in agricultural areas. Landowners wouldn't be able to lease the land to solar, and so they would need to find another way to profit from it. So that would force these empty strips of 250 feet in agricultural areas. It would incentivize housing being built in those areas. We agree with the overall plan for the city that keeping housing in the center makes sense. It makes sense financially, it makes sense logistically. So the way to accomplish that would be to allow solar to go all the way to the road, but be set back from houses. This would encourage housing in dense areas, encourage solar in agricultural areas. So that would allow us to better accomplish both of the goals. And we hope this will be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments on this? Mr. Root?
Bruce Rook, Chair of the Planning Board. The reason that we're concerned about the prolific amount of solar in Presque, we currently have 15 separate sites within the city limits of Presque. That's somewhat of an overburden. They can go to other communities and there would be other sites. The fact that if you've got a solar panel set back at 250 feet from the road and you get a home in between, people are going to build in the country. A lot of them don't want to live in town. We have places around Presque where that is available. And so I don't see that as being a problem. Sprawl is not an issue in a Aroostook County. If it was an issue, then it would be a different thing, but we don't have that kind of a problem. The other thing that bothers me a great deal is that solar panel sites are tax exempt from property taxes. Now the state currently reimburses half of that. That could change the next legislative session. And so there's some issues there as far as the costs of the city and the city taxpayers. If that subsidy goes away, and that's a possibility, then you're going to be looking at a situation where we have tax exempt property. Right now, the city of Presque's got between 30 and 40% of its properties that are tax exempt. If you take in your universities, medical, all the things that are exempt in town, we have a high end of tax exempt properties. Those are the things that went into our consideration and setting them back, and also talked about which did fail. But that's the reason for it, and that's our concerns.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Council? What's your thoughts?
Well, I have one question. On high-quality tillable land, is it, where are we with that?
So in there, under citing, so number 2, this is already existing within the ordinance. You'll notice
Right.
it's black within your thing.
Right.
The planning board shall require a project to submit soil analysis to determine the location with the least impact. Proposed projects shall be prohibited from constructing solar panels on soils classified as prime farmland or farmland of statewide importance, according to the USDA NRCS soil survey on the proposed parcel and the results from on-site soil analysis. The project shall submit documentation for dual use or co-location, which is just expanding what's happening on there. Some properties will do apiaries, or they may allow grazing from other animals, that kind of stuff. dual use or co-location. This may include grazing, apiaries, hand-picked crops. The project shall take into consideration these activities as it relates to panel height and row spacing. And then a survey of critical wildlife habitat shall be provided at the time of application. If a project is located in an area determined to be essential habitat as defined by the State Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, the IF&W recommendation shall be secured before planning board ruling. So those pieces are already in there. Well, we haven't generally tackled them hard. They are in there, so we could always fall back to them.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure we have some protection, because I'd hate to see, good tillable land used up for this purpose. Okay, good.
Or even, prime habitat being used up. Okay, so, anybody else?
So I'd just make a comment. I feel like I live across the street from Solar Done Wrong. It's right in the residential area where it took over some housing lots. But we've already fixed that issue. I feel like solar is important. There's been since 2000 or up to 2024, there's 16 million of value added to the community and 216,000 in taxes. I'm sure there's been some more added since the data that I have, but I mean that's $500,000 being paid to the community. It's jobs, it's power, it's local generation. Like if something happens someday in the future, we have power that we're generating here. I think it's too restrictive, 250 feet off the road. I think 100 feet would be fine with the buffering. But I feel like it should be further away from residents. So my thought would be 100 feet from a paved road and 400 feet from a house. But I think our planning board needs to plan for the future, and whether we like solar or not, solar is going to be part of the future. So I feel that we need to allow it to be closer to the road where it matters and further away from homes.
So you want to be further away than the 250 from homes, but closer to the road.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of places where you've got trees along the road, and 100 feet away from the road, the trees are buffering it, no issue. Personally, but that's my thought.
Is that from the center line of the road?
No, generally we would measure from, it just says paved roadway, so I would take it from like the edge of right of way. Because theoretically those roads could expand to the edge of right of way. So I would take it from the current right of way.
In 4 rows of trees is expected to take up
About 40 feet,
yeah, 40 to
give or take. I mean, it really would depend on types of trees and how closely they space them, but I've accounted for about 10 feet per row. Early on in the project, it might look a little open, but as the trees grow in, it should take care of it.
Edge of roadway or edge of right of way would essentially be like utility pole placement
Generally,
area. Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
past the shoulder, through
Right.
the ditch,
So it,
to utility.
yeah, and it really
Looks
depends
like-
on.
I don't know if it's 66 feet from the center line or 30.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact.
So
And I'd just add, like, the further you put it off the road, the more utility poles you have. And at least, like, in my scenario where I live, it's the utility poles that are obstructive, not the solar panels. 8 utility poles outside your window is, for me, more problematic.
I did research that a little bit, not super in depth, but I took some measurements using the GIS system of some current projects. Average pole placement is about 100 feet. That's their setup of poles. After that point, a lot of the projects go underground, out to the actual solar field. So
Say that again. The first pole is 100 feet from the road.
no, there's a set of poles. Most some projects have 4, some have 6. It really depends on their configuration with Versant and stuff.
Yeah.
But that pole span total for all 6 poles would be about 100 feet. Some places it was closer to 175, and there was one that was all the way down to 75. So they really crammed them in to get their equipment in there. On average, I'm looking at like 100 feet, 125 feet, but
So you're saying you need that setback anyways to give room for the poles?
chances are. So I'm sure somebody could do something different, but 100 feet is going to be taken up by poles anyway.
Okay.
Motion.
So are we fine with a 250, or, I mean, we're gonna beat this up some more and more, or what do we, I'm looking for a motion.
I tend to be in line with what Mike had suggested. Because once I started looking at some aerials of how far some of these distances are, from your house, 250 feet is, not that far.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the changes to the Chapter 16 Land Use and Development Code with the change of 100 feet from a paved road and 400 feet from residence.
Second that.
Motion made by Mike and seconded by Doug. Any further discussion? All of those in favor? 6-0.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate all the work you've put into this, as well as the planning board. Mr. Roop, that's you and your crew and everybody else. Thank you. On to agenda item number 7, an update on the Downtown Village Partnership Initiative.
Mr. Chair, this is going to be very quick. You have a memo in your packet about an update that speaks of a joint meeting. Members of the VPI committee, leadership of the planning board, and representatives from Maine DOT that will meet on Monday, November 17th at 1 p.m. And hopefully, through that local leadership, we can shape an outcome for the downtown VPI that is acceptable to us as a community.
Is it Monday or Tuesday?
Monday.
I thought it was Tuesday.
No,
I guess it's Monday.
I'm sorry, Sonia, where is that meeting going to be held?
It will be held right at City Hall.
Okay. All right. Is that open to the public?
Just about anything that we do is open to the public, yeah.
Very well.
Yep, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Anybody, any questions for Sonia on that, the VPI thing? All right. Item number 8 is to discuss city board and committee anticipated vacancies.
Here again, Mr. Chair, this is going to be very brief,
Yeah.
but we have a great deal of openings that are anticipated, and I want to start early in the year recruiting people, letting our citizens know that these openings are available. And as you will see from your memo, the library board has openings, the zoning board openings, the planning board openings, the development fund an opening, recreation board, downtown revitalization, airport, and assessment review. So we have some significant openings, and this is an opportunity for citizens to become engaged and involved in shaping our future.
And might I add, also a great time to bring this up, right on the heels of the election, where there seemed to be an increased amount of interest and participation among citizens and residents. This is a perfect opportunity to become involved, and if you have any questions or anything whatsoever in regards to any of these vacancies, please come to City Hall, see Kim Finnemore, and she'll point you in the right direction.
And you can apply right online.
Or you can apply right online, too. Super. All right, moving on to new business. Item number 9 is to discuss general development zoning.
Mr. Chair, this is on the agenda with the understanding that Mr. Dowdy was going to make a comment for
Yes.
citizen comments, and I felt it merited its own agenda item.
Yep.
So Tim will come and discuss that with you.
Yes, please do.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks. You're like voodoo dolls. You knock them over, you're in trouble.
Evening again, Council. So the page that I just handed you is a map of our a piece of our general development zone. That is the section that is just across the State Street Bridge on the corner of Dyer Street. And the highlighted parcel in yellow is Mr. Dowdy's parcel. That is the parcel that's in question. On the second page, you'll see that is our land use, what's allowed in that section. New and used vehicle dealer is not currently in the lighter green column to the far right-hand side of the page. It does not have a P. It is not currently allowed in that zone. The parcel was before dealerships. The zone changed in 2016 from what we have for records. Unfortunately, the records, we have minutes meetings and those kind of things, but we don't have the reasoning behind the change. We know of some from historical people that have worked here long enough, but there's certain pieces of it that don't fit into what those conversations were about. So in 2016, the general development zone was created. In 2018, it was extended all the way up to Park Street in turn. So what I would recommend to assist Mr. Dowdy in his goal of expanding his business would be simply to make it permitted in the general development zone. Rezoning will take considerably longer, cost considerably more, and at this point, I think just for ease of everything, if we make it created permitted in that zone, which the planning board will see tomorrow night, potentially for a public hearing in December, and then back in front of you guys in January or February.
What would be like, we're only seeing a small part of the general development zone though, like if we did that, what would be the unintended consequences of allowing that in other places where maybe it wouldn't be as complimentary?
So most of the rest of the general development zone is actually owned by the city. So Riverside Park, down by the ball fields, soccer fields, those areas. The only pieces that wouldn't be fall into on if you're up beside Park Street, where Mr. Alexander has his properties, where Flannel and Barrel was. Those pieces are actually in general development, so potentially one could be on a main street.
Okay. Is there any other places with general development that kind of border or buffer a residential area though?
No.
Or is there a place where I could see the whole map online?
You could. If you go on the city's website and look at the tax maps.
Okay.
So the concern that I have is that this spot where he is on the corner, Mr. Dowdy, it was a Nash car dealership way back when. It's been Linehan's, it's been Credit now, it's been Randy's in the past. So it's always kind of been an automotive, place in its history, and I don't think anyone in Presque would balk at it staying so. But the other concern I would have is right next door is the car wash, which really its only purpose is some kind of automotive business. It's a garage, and so that would kind of limit if they wanted to have any business in the front of it. They couldn't really have an auto dealer there. And then down where TA Service is, halfway down the street, that building is only a garage, again. And then next door, the one that was Taylor Rental, that one is, could be multi-use of anything like that too. So I guess my only point would be is I guess I'm kind of in favor of us allowing that kind of thing, but making sure that it also might encompass the ability to have a garage just like TA Service had been in the past, because otherwise if they want to sell that building and they say, well, all you can have there's office space, but the thing is set up to be a garage, they'll never sell the building,
Can I add a little bit to that? I was there.
Tell us what happened.
Basically, if you take a look at the general makeup of that whole area, we were under the illusion back in the day, we had to have these buffers along the street. And you'll see the red areas that are marked out are the buffers. Main Street, if you take a look, there were a number of houses and those types of things. That's where the park is now and that type of thing as you're coming down through Main Street. And we went up past, I call it Goulville Bridge. And so you'll see that's why that's zoned that way. This parcel here is a little bit bigger. Across the street, you also had the old ADR car barn and some other things. And so it just seemed like it was a good idea to put general development in that area. And so you had TA service and some of those types of business come in. But you also have the accounting office, Carney's is down there. You got some apartment houses. There's a big mixture. And there's residential as you get up towards the north end of the stream where the other bridge is. So that's basically what we were looking at. And we can look at it again. Things change. But that's it. Basically, we're putting those buffer zones in, and there was some development potential along some of these, and so that's what we build in.
So Sonia, this is just for discussion, right? We can't make a motion on this, or can we?
You can make a motion on this.
I'd make a recommendation you revisit it. There's commercial automotive style property there that's currently not being utilized, and it should be being utilized in my opinion.
But I think that the council, without having the planning board have to do our thing with this thing, would be to allow, as Tim has suggested, maybe putting permit at this point means that we can change it down the road. But this property here's got driveways, got the whole thing, it would fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think probably that would be the best step to move forward. Let us take another look at the history on this thing and see if there's other changes that need to be made at the same time.
Yeah, but wouldn't
correct,
you need
Tim?
a zoning board?
Hmm?
Wouldn't you have to get a zoning board appeal to do that? You can't just change a spot zone at a meeting.
What I would recommend this evening, council, is that you allow Mr. Doughty to proceed so that this can unclog the red tape that he has gotten caught up in, and allow this businessman to expand his business, which is what we want to do. And then, once that's cleared, then we can take this back to the planning board and staff and bring
Exactly.
something back to you that will satisfy the requirements.
It's been a long time since we've zoned this stuff. But he's got a project going on, he's got a business he's trying to work, and a permit, in my mind, is a good way for us to go ahead. We could take that permit into consideration when the planning board takes a look at the site and see what changes would be warranted, if any.
What's the
Thank you.
process in issuing of that said permit? So
Well, there is a fee associated. I would recommend that we waive that fee for Mr. Doughty.
So if I were to kind of talk out loud, if I said that we would make a motion to approve in the general development or business zone, I guess it's general development zone is what it's technically called, right? The use of new and used auto dealer expressly for the lot occupied by Mr. Doughty, and that we further recommend that the planning board take up the idea of what further permitted uses be added to that zone to make those businesses be appropriately cited, i.e. that they can actually use TA service as an automotive service area and the car wash in Mr. Doughty's lot, because those are traditionally automotive business zones.
Okay, so a couple of things to clarify. One, this would be a change to the land use code. It has to go to public hearing.
Okay.
Okay, and generally it has to have two, one at the.
Well,
one
I
at the
say that
planning
as
board.
far as that, but we could recommend that you guys
Yes.
go to that process, but in the meanwhile, can't we approve Mr. Doughty to move ahead with this project?
No, because it's not a permitted use currently.
Okay.
So tomorrow night, the planning board will have that in front of them and be able to schedule a public hearing for their December meeting.
And it has to be at their meeting, it can't be at our meeting?
It's going to be
Correct.
at our meeting after their
Right.
meeting in
So
January.
in January, you guys
Oh.
would see it and be able to finalize, similar to the solar stuff, you would see it again and it will come back to you. That is the normal process of that. As far as TA and like the car wash and those, we have some other pieces of permitted use. Very similar, if the TA service center was open, it's a service establishment, which is actually allowed in the general development zone. So there are some other classified uses that already allow those uses. So this is very specific to a new and used car dealers, not on that zone.
So a car dealership is not allowed in this general development zone.
Yeah,
But he could do an auto service business in this zone currently?
yeah, that's considered a service
So,
establishment.
so
But
could
sales
he could
aren't?
do like an inspection station right now?
Yeah. So sales establishments are allowed, but a new and used car dealer, because we very specifically have it called out in our use, is not.
Okay.
So, and again, I can't tell you why those decisions were made or how they came to be, but
That's pre-you.
So is there a more expedited way that you can put in an appeal to the zoning board?
no, because permitted uses aren't a variable. Like, you wouldn't be able to seek a variance on it. And
Okay.
in this same case, there's no charge for this. We're doing, similarly to what we're doing with the solar, we're gonna do it with this permitted use.
So there's no variance possible.
But but Mr. Dowdy, you were looking to also have a inspection station in your and automotive service uses?
Yes, that's correct, but in the permitted uses, it specifically excludes repair facilities. There's no P on repair facilities and it outlines repair facilities, but it gives a zoning board approval on gasoline service stations. So, the exclusion of the repair facility was really the major issue because, I mean, if I'm abiding by that zoning board, I have to shut down immediately because I am a repair facility, but I am also a service center, you know, so it's kind of a mixed bag, even though I do have an approval to be there. But, and this was just brought to my attention when I set in to open up the used car lot, because I have on rotation a couple of, you know, cheap, affordable cars that we're gonna inspect. And the idea was that we would sell those to the public legitimately, as an offering. So it's not like I'm trying to sell like, you know, a dozen, just a couple at a time, right?
So does he have to be used cars, or can they do just like a private sale?
So the state regulates how many sales you can, it could be just a private sale, but the state regulates that
How many
piece
you
of
can
it.
have
I
for a
don't-
year,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know those numbers, I don't know those rules.
Okay.
We have him as a permitted use of a service establishment, is allowed to be there, so. But with this would clarify and allow him to sell cars.
Okay.
But
So-
is there a problem with his inspection service license?
No.
Because, I don't,
Because as part of a new and used car dealer, by allowing that, the repair is assumed that you're gonna be doing the work on it. So very specifically, you don't need the repair also.
So could we get something in writing signed by you to him saying you can do X, Y, Z right now? His service repair?
Which is currently what he's doing.
Right, but it sounds like he's concerned that may be not allowed.
inspection, I think is what he said. Is that what you're concerned about?
I did file for my inspection license, yes, and they asked if it was an approved zoning. And so I haven't heard back from the state yet, as if I have or have not gotten that approved. But, if they look at the zoning board and they see that repair station is not there, there is a possibility that they may deny that based on a zoning board issue.
So that is paperwork that, similar to what your dealer license was, that is paperwork we'll have to fill out, and I would approve that as a service establishment. He's providing a service. That's what that's classified as. So, once we see that, we'll take care of that piece.
Okay. And then we'll move forward on going to public hearing about the vehicle dealer issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll see it for the first time tomorrow night, and then
Okay.
we will go from there.
Great.
Okay?
Awesome.
Super.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks.
And good luck, Brandon. Okay, up next, in new business, Item number 9 is to discuss some general development zoning.
We just did that.
Oh, no, we did that, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Item number 10 is to approve an order to adopt the USDA loan resolution form RD 1942-47.
And Mr. Chair, Laura is here to explain her memo.
Hello, Council.
Hello.
So this is just a procedural thing for the USDA. It is a requirement to close on the loan for the funding for the airport. You have already approved this loan at this amount. So this really is just a formality at this time. They need the minutes for the application to close the loan. So that is pretty much all I have.
And just to clarify too, we also approved it this amount because that is the maximum that they allowed for this, but we didn't expect to fully
Correct. We
use
have
all of
received a
this.
$2.5 million grant since then.
Because we have a grant to pay it down.
That is correct.
Right, okay.
So just to memory, we needed to loan $12 million, right?
12 million, and then
And USDA required us to carry in a
Continue.
contingency on top of that. And since that 12 million, we've won a $2.5 million grant.
correct.
So that takes it down to $9.5 million, but they require the contingency.
that is correct.
And then we have another significant grant out there that we're hoping for, right? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Technically.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's just been some misunderstanding of
No,
that.
absolutely.
That
Yeah,
it-
so
that the numbers changed. The number's been
Yep.
consistent.
it
Yep.
is, absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay,
So I guess the requested action would just be to adopt the order as proposed. And
So,
there's a
Mr.
suggested motion
So
right on that.
you can't revise that down to the 12 million
Not at this time, no.
because it was applied for at the
At the
higher amount?
14.5, correct.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the USDA loan resolution form RD 1942-47. Authorize the city of Presque to incur indebtedness in the amount of $14,500,000 for the Presque International Airport Terminal Expansion Project, and to authorize city manager and city officials to execute all documents necessary to complete the financing as required by USDA Rural Development.
Thanks, Craig. We have a motion made by Craig,
I second that.
seconded by Mike. Any further discussion? All of those in favor? 6-0, motion passes. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. On to item number 11 under new business is to approve a proposed mailbox policy for Presque Isle Public Works. Nate, you want to,
Oh,
what's that? Were we hitting too many mailboxes with the plow or what?
We are not hitting too many, no.
Super.
we're gonna hit more?
No.
Oh, okay.
All this is, right now, there's only a departmental policy back from about 1996, 1997. So this is just to put it something official as an ordinance stating, giving directions on how you should mount your mailbox, distance from the road, how high it should be, and that, so the owner understands mailboxes are in the right of way, so they are assuming the risk of putting those in the right of way. That being said, if we are at fault for damaging a mailbox, i.e. I have a driver that is not doing what they're supposed to do and they hit a mailbox, then we will replace those. If it's just due to normal snow plowing, slush hits it, knocks it off, that the owner at that point is responsible. But we do have temporary mailboxes that we can provide during the winter on that they're already on stands. So that way, once the winter's over and the ground thaws, they can replace their mailbox permanently.
You have those that you can provide?
Yes.
Okay.
You provided it to me several times.
Well,
Yeah.
you've got it in there though.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the mailbox policy for Presque Public Works.
All right, we have motion made by Mike.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, with all of your setbacks and with all of your dimensions here, does that all equate to what the U.S. Postal Service is requiring as well?
U.S. Postal Service, and then also that policy that you're looking at is straight from Maine DOT as well, that they issue out to the municipalities as a format to utilize with those measurements.
Yeah, because I know the Postal Service will frown on you hard if you're not
Yes.
within. Okay, now you can make a motion.
Mike made the motion. I'm waiting
Well,
for
I'll
you to
second
seconded by Hank. Any further discussion? All of those in favor? 6-0. Motion passes. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Nate.
Sorry,
Item number 12, an update on the 2026 semi-quincentennial. Did I get that right?
You did.
All right.
Say it 3 times fast.
No. I might slip and say something I'm not supposed to.
Good evening, council. You have heard a little bit about this in previous meetings. Next year is the 250th anniversary of America's independence, 1776 to 2026, and it is known as the semi-quincentennial. Almost all of the states have commissions set up to prepare for this and plan events, Maine being no different. They meet on a regular basis, and I have been attending those meetings. They are encouraging all towns and even counties within the state of Maine to have some sort of celebration commemorating this event. And here in Presque, Presque Historical Society is leading the way with numerous partnerships throughout the area. For instance, just with the city alone, we are collaborating on 10 different events. Other partners include Northern Light AR Gould Hospital, the Elks Lodge, the James School, Northern Maine Fair, MSAD number 1, the University of Maine at Presque Isle, Town Square Media, and the Northeastland Hotel. To date, we have over 78 events planned for next year. The list continues to grow. And tonight I handed out to you the poster of events so far for next year. You can see we are biting off a large chunk here. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think people will not only be entertained, but educated. And there is already a website set up that is listed on the poster. As mentioned, it does continue to grow. We've just added another event this week that will be out on the website because there's no more room on the poster, as you can see. We're going to have sesquicentennial, I even get it wrong, because I'm still thinking about the last one. Semi-quincentennial moments on the radio. That's free of charge. The radio station is our partner, and they're providing that at no cost. The Northeastland Hotel, which has weekly trivia contests, will be including a whole category just on colonial trivia, for instance. There will be presentations at the library, children's storybook readings, pieces in the First Friday Art Walk, and numerous other things, an antique cider pressing demonstration, along with a school band performance with MSAD 1 School Farm, and several other events. So this is just an informational purpose tonight. You now have the poster that you can display at your place of business, so you can help spread the word of all the fun events coming, and it starts January 1st.
Awesome. That's cool. Lots going on.
Lots going on.
For sure.
And one just final thing. In order to use the Maine state logo for this, we had to apply for permission, and it was granted.
Good news.
We have 8 grants out right now looking for funding for this.
Wow.
So, for the most part, everything that we're doing is at no cost, and most of the events are free to the public.
Fantastic.
Is it true if you dress up as George Washington or Martha Washington all year, you get a free coffee and donut once? I heard that.
Yeah, Craig Green is providing free coffee.
Yeah. One time. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful, Kim. What a great list of events. And it should be really interesting, and what a great year. I mean, for us, this is pretty neat. 250 years. It's a long time.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that we focused on, and I'll even challenge the audience to this, if someone were to ask you, give me names of a couple of people who made a difference during the American Revolution, how many of you could give me more than one female name? Nobody, right? So one of the things that we are doing is focusing on the women of the Revolution. So there will be a lot of that. In fact, one of the most recent events we just added was a reenactment with one of our local community players who will be in full costume as Betsy Ross.
Neat.
It's Scott Wardwell's daughter, by the way.
Good.
So, yep.
And what is the kickoff event for this?
Oh, thank you very much for asking, Mr. Green. So we will be kicking this off formally at the Festival of the Trees in December at Northern Maine Community College. We'll have a small tree with semi-quincentennial ornaments on it and a miniature version of the poster to hand out.
Fantastic. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just stand here because I'm
Yep,
next.
you're good. Stay right there. You're up next with a presentation of our outside requests for the 2026 budget, which is item number 13 under new business.
I'm not sure I like being item 13.
No superstitions.
Yeah, and I didn't dress up for once, so I don't know. Council, as you heard at the October 1st council meeting, we have streamlined the outside request process. All organizations who made a request for funding have provided all of the documentation we asked for, with the exception of one, which is noted in your packet. And you have two spreadsheets in front of you. One is the historical spreadsheet, which shows you who has applied for funding every year from 2021 to present. And then the other sheet is just simply this year. Get back to my notes. We do have representatives of some of the organizations here tonight, should you have any questions. I am basically just going to present you with the list of who has applied and how much they have requested. Area Agency on Aging has requested $6,200 this year. That is a slight increase from last year and the previous years. From 2021 forward, they have historically asked for $5,500, and this year it has gone up to $6,200. Aroostook County Action Program has stayed level and asked for the same funding as the last 3 years of $3,877. The Central Aroostook Chamber of Commerce, again, historically the same level amount of request, $20,000. Central Aroostook Soil and Water Conservation District, again, level funding request, the same as the last several years, $1,050. Gift Grace Interfaith Food Table, the same amount as last year, $3,500. Lake Stewards of Maine has doubled their request from $500 to $1,000. Northern Maine Veteran Cemetery, this is the only group who did not comply with all of our requests for documentation, has asked for $200. Presque Snowmobile Club has asked for $5,000 this year. That looks as if it's a decrease, but in fact, the previous years were an inflated amount because that included the amount of pass-throughs for snowmobile registrations. So what you're seeing here, the $5,000, is actually only the request for outside funding.
So is there still the pass-throughs?
Yes.
Do we know what that is?
I do not know
It's
what that.
approximately $3,000, and it's the state pays the city, and then the city just turns the check over to the club from the Department of Inland Fisheries.
Okay.
Thank you. Quaggy Joe Ski Club, they in years past have asked for $6,400. Last year they increased that to $15,000, and they are again asking for $15,000 this year. And Wintergreen Arts has remained constant at for the last 3 years at $20,000. And that is the total list of your outside requests.
May I ask a question? And I think I know the answer. The Johnson Cemetery's been receiving money, but we're not on that list.
You did not submit an outside request.
But we've been going to the meeting and we've been getting $8,400 a year, but it's never showed up on this list. We got it last year.
You were on the list last year, I believe.
I think the cemeteries are under unclassified, but that's the
believe
memory.
so.
I'd have to look it up.
If it's unclassified, it's not included in this.
Where do I find it? And how do I-
Unclassifieds, you would speak to
Mr.
our
Chair,
finance.
Laura will be presenting unclassified this this evening.
Yep, I believe that's next anyway, the unclassified,
is.
yes.
That's coming up next, Bruce.
Any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you.
And as mentioned, you do have some representatives in the audience, should you have specific questions for the organizations. Thank you.
Council, do you have any questions for anybody who may be present?
Well, I just had two. I just wanted to kind of
Or
have
any
them.
comments you would like to add on this?
I think the
$75,827.
Wintergreen is here. I think the Interfaith Food Pantry is here, and the Chamber of Commerce here. I think all three of you, since you're here, we don't want you to come and sit through this and not have a chance to tell us a little bit about the good work you do. So if you'd like to come up and just tell us maybe how many people you served and a little bit about your organization, that probably would be great for the public to hear what their tax dollars have been going towards.
Good evening, councilors. It's an honor to be here. Lenny Searway, Central Louisville Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. Thank you for giving us the time. It's been nice to be in your presence tonight. Just a quick overview. We do have some new members from Presque this year, 21 new members, which is kind of exciting. We have done 541 visits already this year. We still have 2 months left to do. That just means we're stopping by your visit. We're saying, hey, we're dropping something off. We're providing an opportunity, promotion, that kind of thing to keep the relationships alive. We have promoted 164 businesses on social media, but we've also promoted 85 different events as each business or organization has hosted something. We've tried to really support them and make sure that what they are doing is a great success. We've had 12 ribbon cuttings in Presque this year. You're always welcome. If you want to be on that mailing list to be invited to those ribbon cuttings, as a city councilor, please let me know. We've written 8 letters of support for organizations here in Presque for grants, and a lot of them they've won their grants, so it's pretty exciting. So just keep asking me for them. I'll keep writing them. We've had 10 large events. You know most of them, Crown of Maine Balloon Fest, and thank you for okaying the road closure for the upcoming light parade. We've held smaller events, about 12 of them, things like Eggs and Issues, business after hours, and networking events. And we do have a networking event tomorrow. All the public is invited. It'll be at the Northeastern Hotel from 4 to 6, and that's in partnership with the Rustic Partnership. So the two organizations are getting together, and it's come shake a hand and hand out a business card kind of thing. So we're excited to continue to be that partner to the city and all the other local organizations, and of course the business community, and we'll continue to do more work. If you have any questions or concerns, just let me know.
Lenise, one of your big events, of course, is the Crown of Maine Balloon Festival.
It is.
Do you have any data off the top of your head, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but on what kind of economic impact that does, or what you have for numbers? Because I know it's impressive.
You know, I meant to bring the numbers. I didn't do it. We do know that we hear a lot from our hotels. They're booked way ahead, way ahead. The gas stations are really getting a lot of business, and the restaurants, of course, and then retail says they have an uptick. Restaurants typically have to bring on extra staff that weekend. So, but do I have the numbers? I don't. But I know town is full during those days. Yeah. And I'll add too that I work in the information booth all weekend, and we get to hear where people are from. And people are coming from all over the place, Texas, Rhode Island, Florida. One person told me that they were visiting Ellsworth, read about our thing, stopped visiting Ellsworth, came to see us for 3 days, and then went back to Ellsworth and spent the rest of the vacation there. So they just wanted to come see the balloons. I thought it was cool. So bringing people up here to see Aroostook County that wouldn't normally have that opportunity is an honor to do.
Lenny, is there any other communities funding you guys like at a level we are?
We're getting some traction with a lot of them, yes, and some of them are trying to partner with some events too to try to bring the chamber a little bit more active in those. I'm still the most active here. There's no doubt about that. But I do have a growing contribution.
Can you let us know the ask or contributions for, say, Caribou or Mapleton or Fort Fairfield?
Caribou's at about 5, and they give us 2 free event spaces. So I think a total of about $12,000 is what that's worth. Mapleton, I think, is $350. Easton the same. Easton doesn't have a real big base. Neither does Mapleton. Fort Fairfield's about $1,500. Those are the bigger ones, anyway.
Okay, is that just right in the regular membership number? Is that where that is?
That's
in
under
your budget?
community member dues.
Okay.
Now, when you're looking at the budget, we allocate some things differently because some of the money you give us does go straight to the Crown and Main Balloon Fest. So $8,500 goes straight to that. So you don't see that in community dues. That's in Crown and Main Balloon Fest revenue to help us offset costs. And then part of the city Caribou funds are actually fielded toward the Oktoberfest because they help fund that other big event that brings people into town. So the allocation is just how it seems to suit our need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everything? Okay. Thanks for having me.
Hi, my name is Allie Midgley. This is Gretchen Violet. I am the new executive director of the Wintergreen Arts Center. Gretchen is our programs director, right? Yeah, make sure I get the job. Sorry, she just changed from events to programs, so I'm like trying not to mix them up. But the Wintergreen Arts Center serves Presque Isle, specifically mostly children. We have a creative preschool. We are seeing our 10th class come through this year, so that's really wonderful. We do our after school programmings. We do 5-6 week sessions throughout the year. We're currently at the start of our second one this year, and then we run our summer arts classes, which are 1 week sessions, and our Art with Heart program, which is a 4-month long session. Our Art with Heart program is free to all students. Our summer arts programs are $50 a class, which is significantly lower than the cost of what it is to actually run the class. And then our after school programs are $75 a student, cost to the parents, but it costs around $260 per student per session. So we do not really make money off of those programs, and it's something that we are trying to make art accessible to people in the community. And so we also offer a large number of scholarships and do not turn any students away due to financial constraints. We are also a part of the Art Walk for First Fridays, and we host our annual Wintergreen Express event, which is a holiday event that runs in mid-December and brings families and students families and children and people from the community center to the mall to kind of meet Santa and do their holiday festive events. We see about I think it's 150 to 175 students for our after school programs, about 300 for both, a total for both of the summer arts programs. And then our preschool sees up to 16 students. And then we see around 800 people for the Wintergreen Express event. So do you have anything to add?
Good job. And you've only been on staff for how long?
This is actually, I think by the end of the week, I will be officially 2 months.
And you know all that off the top of your head. So that is
Yes.
impressive. That is very impressive.
Nice work. Nice work.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Scott Smith, Malin Kenny. We're here from the food pantry, the gift food pantry. I'm the treasurer, Malin's the chairman. He won't talk, but making me do the talking. First of all, we really appreciate what you've supported us in the last 2 years, and we hope we can do it again this year. We're still in business. We're still, like I said, 100% volunteers, 100% donations, and we are the largest food pantry north of Bangor. And we operate on a budget of about $50,000 a year to get through our year, and we're serving 2,500 people, of which are about 50% are senior citizens.
Wow.
So there is a need. It doesn't seem to be abating any. If anything, it's gotten a little stronger this year. We don't know where we're going to fall out until the government starts back up again, but that is going to impact us. We're working with Good Shepherd and Catholic Charities. They gave us our monthly allotment of food a week early to get set up for it. We do ask for donations from Mapleton, Castle Hill, and Chapman, and also Washburn Wade, and we have received some money from them too. But like I said, our volunteer coordinator is just a crackerjack. She's doing a wonderful job. We have a good bank of volunteers that are loyal, and they are always got a smile on their face whenever we go in to help them out. And we're very fortunate the way the thing is operating. And like I said, we're year to year. We never know because we're all donations. The donations are individual donations that people write us, $25 check a week. Some people do major giving at the end of the year. Businesses will donate. Some of the banks, Versant Power will give us, well, they ought to because they're charging us a lot for electricity. But they help out. We're continually beating the bushes, asking for support from, not demanding but asking, and so far it's worked. We're still here. There's still a need, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. We hope you can do it again this year.
Thanks for what you do.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you for all you guys do.
Yeah, we're open to feed the public 4 Wednesdays a month, and we're open 4 Tuesdays a month to take phone calls and make appointments for all those people. You can only come once a month. Our phone's been ringing off the hook. We've had 7 new families or people come in today. This month we're going to be inundated with people trying to come through. We've noticed a big difference last week and this last Tuesday says phone ring off the hook. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on us.
So anyway, so far we're being positive about being able to meet the need. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. It's definitely a worthy cause. Definitely. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you folks very much for addressing the council with all of the things that you folks do for the community. And you all are part of what makes this place great, really, truthfully. It's great. So. Moving on to item number 14 for a presentation of the unclassifieds department request for the 2026 budget. And Laura, I believe it's your turn.
All right, hello again.
So the unclassifieds department reflects expenditures that are not specific to any single department but are necessary for the overall operation and obligations of the city. This includes appropriations for the annual report, Central Aroostook Humane Society, some cemeteries, contingent accounts, and the downtown revitalization initiatives, as well as legal services, the TIF payments, and overlay and abatements as well. For fiscal year 2026, the unclassified budget shows an increase of 117.73% compared to the prior fiscal year. This is due to an increase in legal services. We are using those quite frequently lately. So we are requesting an increase in that appropriation. The overlay and TIF amount that came from, that's a placeholder for 2026. That was what you voted on in the tax commitment. And then you'll also see an increase in the State Street dam utilities. That's an increase just on what the electricity costs are at this time. And all the other accounts have remained the same going into 2026.
And Mr. Chair, I will just add that the increase in legal fees has to do with the tax acquired properties and the rules and regulations that have changed for that.
Understood.
And it's money well spent.
Yeah.
We are still only using one RIC for legal services.
Yes.
that-
Yep.
that
That
was
was
a-
my.
that was a typo.
Yep. I don't know how that came out.
Actually,
as
I
that.
had to have Rick Solomon work with the zoning board of appeals on a matter because I had a conflict. And so we did hire Rick to come in and help on that occasion, but the rest should be under my name.
It is. Yes. That was my mistake.
So overlay and abatements went from 50 to 208, 950.
Yes.
Is that the overlay when we set the mill rate, or
That is correct. That's on
yeah.
the tax commitment.
So we just set a higher overlay than we've have in the past? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. And then the TIF obviously is increasing because the value in the TIF district's going up. Have we found any good ways to support the downtown that we can use some of those funds, like maybe for plowing or?
It will be a topic of conversation on our November 20th strategic planning session. We will talk about TIFs and what we can and should and want to use TIFs for
Okay.
on that evening.
I mean, just one thing that comes to my mind is I think we pay $165 for the snow removal for the downtown, and it's a downtown TIF. So those two things seem like they align, but there's probably other things.
We will look at that in detail.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay.
May I address the Johnson Cemetery?
Yes, you
Yes,
are
you may.
appropriated at
Yes.
$8,400 in the unclassifieds department.
To stand over Arlene on you.
You get used to it.
Johnson Cemetery is an association. Cemeteries north of Presque, as it's right across the street from the Aroostook Monument. I've been president of the association for at least 20 years now, and now I'm the caretaker. I've poured a lot of money into that cemetery. That $8,400 has come in very useful. My labor has been, the board wants to repay me for labor, but I'm taking very little out of there. The cemetery had deteriorated with problems that cemeteries have with stones upside down, stuff that's sunken, grass problems and everything else. I've poured quite a lot of that money into it last year. The chair and I talked about it the other day. He said ask for an increase, but I think I could get by with the $8,400. But it's very important. It's not actually a community, although it started right in around that river area. We've got some pretty impressive names up there. Parker's family, big farmers in Presque. There's a lot of big farmers on the north side of Presque that are there and those types of things. But I'm trying to do the best I can, and I'm a one-man show there in the summertime to straighten that thing out. So if you have in your hearts to give us a little extra money, I can use it for sure, because I'm finding that loam and the stuff I need to fix that place up. Because I'm 73, I'm not going to do this much longer. I don't know anybody else that's going to come along. And it was costing us, when we get done hiring commercial mowers, $500 a week. And I'm taking $700 out and buying the supplies, the mowers, the insurances, because as a contractor, I have to have insurance on there and all those types of things. And my costs are pretty steep. But I'm swallowing them, and I will continue to do that until I get it back in shape, and then can turn it off to someone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Hey, Laura. Craig, do you have anything?
No, just kind of, just as a historical item for cemeteries, if
Yes.
if we didn't have the goodwill of people that go out and mow them,
Yep.
it does fall back under state law for the city to care for it. So either we're gonna give him some money and then he puts with it lots and lots of goodwill dollars, or we would pay significantly more than $8,400 to care for it ourselves, because it's part of state law that we would need to. So I agree that we do that. So thank you.
I'll give you some idea of the things.
Bruce, we got a huge long meeting tonight. I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah,
but
just real quick. The jobs that would have to be taken over by the cemetery is not just the caretaking. It's also siting the graves and having somebody keeping track of those types of things and making the decisions as to how to go. It's going to be a big increase to the city in our town to take care of that if you have to assume it.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
so
you,
that's the
Bruce.
thing.
Thanks.
thanks, Bruce.
Anybody else have anything for Laura? All right.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura. Much appreciated. Okay, up next is item number 15, and that's to schedule a public hearing for Chapter 49, Administration of Government Ordinance. Sonia, what do you got for us on this one?
Yes, Mr. Chair, just very quickly, I'm requesting that we be putting this on the next month's agenda. Chapter 49 is where we list what departments are legitimately recognized as departments. And when we created a facilities department, we did not change that ordinance. There's also a public services department that no longer exists, listed on there. And the reference to planning and development should be updated to align with current department names and responsibilities.
All right. Can I,
So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we schedule a public hearing to propose updates, Chapter 49.
motion made by Greg, seconded by Hank. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right. It'll be on the schedule.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I'm sorry?
I said thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what I was hearing. My hearing's not the greatest, I'm sorry. Up next is the manager's report. And Sonia, that's you, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Let's have it.
My manager's report tonight.
Bring it on.
Thank you. Thank you. My manager's report tonight is twofold. The first is a quarterly report, the third quarter report for you. It's in front of you. This will be uploaded to the website tomorrow morning. And thanks to our department heads for helping me to put that together. The second one is in our audience. We have new counselors with us this evening. And so if we could just introduce our new counselors, I think that would be a wonderful thing. So Deborah Plummer, if you could stand so that we can see you and remain standing until the other counselor. And Herman, welcome and thank you for your very hard service that is yet to come.
Thank you. Look forward to working with you.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much. And that's my manager's report.
All right. Thank you very much, Sonia. Lastly, we've got some announcements for the Presque City Council. The 2025 Presque Rotary Dessert Auction is at 6 p.m. Silent auction at 7 p.m. Live auction at the Northeastland Hotel on Monday, November 24th. Also, on November 14th and 15th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., the Presque Community Players and the Northeastland Hotel will put on a totally radical 80s murder mystery dinner. Cost is $60 per person with limited seating. The city also has the following employment vacancies. We're looking for a public works driver. We're looking for a firefighter / paramedic. We're looking for police officer, and we're also looking for a facilities technician. We also have the following vacancies for boards and committees. The Rec and Parks, looking for 1 full-time member, 2 months left of the term, and 3 one-year alternates. The Assessment Review Committee, we're looking for 1 3-year member with 1 year and 5 months remaining. The Assessment Review Committee, we're looking for 1 one-year alternate. The Audit Committee, we're looking for 1 4-year member. The Downtown Revitalization Committee, we're looking for 1 4-year member with just a little over 3 years remaining. And the Downtown TIF, we're looking for 1 one-year community member. And the Library Board, we're looking for 1 one-year alternate. Please check with the city clerk for an application or apply online. And with that, let me see here. Got another. Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Mr. Chair, I move we move into executive session pursuant to State Statute 1 MRSA 4056D to discuss labor contracts and negotiations.
Second.
All right, motion made by Mike and seconded by Craig. All of those in favor? Thank you. And one thing I missed on the announcements, the next scheduled meeting for the Presque City Council will be on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. for a budget workshop in the council chambers.